Hello and welcome to Whealthy Show #1. My name is Chase Wheeler. I'm your host. This show will be about everything health. That's what I specifically like to focus on. That's what interests me the most. We're going to try to explore things together. Hopefully we can learn together, teach each other. Right now I'm solo. I will do interviews with friends, people that are interested in what I'm interested in and are on a similar journey. So for those that don't know, I have a Whealthy Performance YouTube channel and I am working on revamping it. Thank you to all 338 of you that have subscribed to Whealthy Performance. I really appreciate it because the channel is lacking for sure. It's inconsistent. There's not like a clear outline of what the channel really is. So what I'm going to do is make Whealthy Performance about performance as far as physically, fitness, exercise, workouts. That's my background in track and field and athletics, football, basketball. And then I'm going to make a new channel for all my gut health fanatics out there that want to learn about gut health. It's just going to be Whealthy Gut Health. Hopefully I have it already set up by the time this video goes out. And that'll be, again, about gut health, about gastrointestinal health, ulcerative colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, IBS. So that there's a bit more like congruency between the channels. And that you know, if you're interested in gut health, you don't want to see all the fitness things, you have a channel for that. If you're interested in fitness things, you have a channel for that. And then this show is just going to be kind of my own interest and hopefully it'll be interesting to you all as well. So in order to not bore you to death, we're going to start with an overrated, underrated. So underrated is getting more sun in the morning. This is discussed at length by Dr. Andrew Huberman. It's one of like the few things he is, he's an advocate about. Morning sun helps improve mood, set circadian rhythm, help you sleep, among many other things, including like hormone balancing and good stuff. And it really helps actually. And I've noticed huge differences. And even if the sun's not out, it's still a good idea to go out and get some sun. Before the phone doesn't count. This is not good in the morning. Leave all this stuff behind, go out there and get real sun. I do have actually, let me turn it off so I don't blind you all. You see that? This wellness light here, it's kind of like mimics the sun. Not as good, but still keeps you alert, keeps you awake, has some of the good benefits, lets you know that it's daytime. So I have that. And then we're going over overrated. Overrated is going to be a Beyond Meat Impossible Burger. I saw an ad for an Impossible Burger with bacon. How does that make any sense? What? Like if you're going to eat meat, eat meat. If you're going to eat vegetables, eat vegetables. Don't try to think like, oh, I'm going to be healthy and get an Impossible Burger. Nah, it's processed. It's like, just don't think that like the Impossible Burger is healthier for you than like organic meat. Just overrated as, now that I've scared a few of you away, let's go over just who am I, like a brief overview. We have my website here, Whealthy Performance. I don't want to go too far in depth. I don't want to bore you to death. You can find all this on wealthyperformance.com. So yeah, as I said, my name is Chase Wheeler. I'm an Oakland-based entrepreneur. I want to help individuals prioritize their health and redefine their wealth because, the old saying goes, your health, you're only as wealthy as your health. So I don't know if that's an old saying, actually, I just said that. Backstory, let's just, again, you can read this, right? Like my athletic career, I was decent at track and field, 2009 state champion, ranked second nationally. I got a scholarship to University of California, Berkeley for track and field, inducted to De La Salle Hall of Fame, all good stuff. I graduated. I worked as a senior research associate at a biotech in immunotherapy. I loved that job. It was amazing. I had great bosses, very cool experience for me. While I was at that job, I was able to do some I wouldn't consider semi-pro track, but like track beyond college. And unfortunately, during that journey, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, PANS colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, which has no cure. But luckily I was in this research position here at a biotech. And so I was like, hey, I'm learning how to do real research and this is a real problem. I should dive into it and help others in my position. And that's really the goal here. That's a brief overview. Oh, that's dope. Okay, that's a brief overview of who I am. I'm not going to bore you too much, but agenda for today. So we're going to have a brief news section. We're going to actually have a book review, and I'm going to update you on my ulcerative colitis journey, something that has been much needed, especially on the gut health front, and just being honest with you guys about what's happening. And we'll end with another overrated, underrated. Oh no, we'll go over another overrated, underrated, and goal for the week. Before we get into the news, last week was Halloween. Went as my dog's name is Smokey. You just heard him barking. I have another dog named Joe. We went as Smokey the bear, helped prevent forest fires. Joe was a campfire, a controlled campfire. My girlfriend was a camper, backpacker, and I was kind of like this ambiguous like lumberjack, or like, I don't really know what I was, but it was fun, and it was a great costume. So now we're going over the news. So we're just exploring here. The news can get boring very fast, but this is just some cool stuff that I found interesting. The first news article, this therapeutic company that raised 60 million Series A by RA Capital to research psychedelic 5-DMT. So this is a psychedelic drug, a compound that's naturally derived from plants to treat resistant depression. So like, I thought that was just cool. Like, there's stigmas and things around psychedelics, and it's just cool to see, even with the stigmas, people are like, oh, maybe there is potential benefit here, which, I think there is. So it's cool to see that stuff gets funded. And, 60 million is not a small amount. And it has a big backing by RA Capital. RA Capital is, they're into a lot of big investment rounds into legit biotech companies. So, I thought that was cool. You could read this article on Endpoints News. That's article 1. Let's see here. Oh, this one. So article 2, news point 2 that I found is another interest of mine, which is like a medical metaverse is already here, but what does that mean for pharma? So this article is like, basically, right, Meta has their face mask or whatever, and like, at some point, it seems as though you'll be able to have an AI experience at the doctors, which maybe can save you time. Hopefully, can save you money. Let's see about the money part, right? But that'd be pretty cool. Like, you get that experience. It's like one step further than Zoom, right? Maybe not as good as in person, but you have to get to put that on, see your doctor, and maybe they can do some AI stuff to you or for you. I don't know. That seems maybe far-fetched, but they have a cool little list of healthcare and medical metaverse terminology if you're interested. You can go ahead and check this out again on Endpoints News. I'll link to it. I'll link to all these articles below. While the concept is not new, it is renowned and reinvigorating. Now Meta founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg laid out his vision. In the metaverse, you'll be able to do almost anything you can imagine. Get together with friends, family, work, play, learn, shop, create, as well as completely new experiences that don't really fit how we think of computers or phones today. And I think doctor's appointments or something is, here we go. Metaverse technology such as virtual and augmented reality plus AI in the medical world relating to physicians, patients, treatment. So I thought that was cool. And then the last piece of news here is going to be about gut health. So Nestle, I think it's Nestle, sorry, puts down 40 million, kicks off deal with gut microbiome specialists to fight food allergies. So working on food allergies through the gut, anything that's gut related, I'm a fan of. So I like that too. So maybe on to news about what I'm up to and Whealthy Performance is up to. So Adventures of Heme is my like project of it's what I'm working on the most right now, and available wealthyperformance.com, Adventures of Heme. I have my little 3.5 snippet, so if you want to take the time to go check that out, it's much appreciated. There's also my pitch deck here, but enough shilling, I guess, about my own things. We're working still, and I'm working with my animator, who Anthony Morris. He's amazing, and we're working on some cool things coming up. So I'm very excited to be able to eventually reveal that to you all. Stay tuned. I know that it's been a while, and we're just learning how to pivot and create something that is going to be more, long lasting, right? But also more than just animation. What I mean is creating a whole world where each character can stand for something, where kids are going to enjoy it, where it's meaningful to parents. And it's just an all around good experience. So we've been working hard on it, and really Anthony's been working super hard on it. So I'm very excited about where we're headed. So good things planned, cool stuff coming. Stay tuned for that. We're going to move into a book review. So I read Dune. So Dune is by Frank Herbert. It's a great story. So one thing we know about reading, actually reading physical books, is that it can improve brain connectivity, increase vocabulary and comprehension, empowers you to empathize, aids in sleep readiness, reduces stress, lowers blood pressure and heart rate, fights depression, prevents cognitive decline as you age, contributes to a longer life. The list goes on. So I've been trying to read more, and so I'm training one of my athletes. He's 12. He's a basketball player, and he's like, "Hey, coach, have you seen Dune?" And I'm like, "No, I actually haven't seen Dune. I've heard good things about it. Let me add it to my watch list." He's like, "Yeah, go watch it and come back." I'm like, "Okay." So I go home, and my girlfriend needs to go to the Apple store to get something done. So I go with her. It's next door to a Barnes and Noble. So I just pop into Barnes and Noble. I'm like, "Oh, let me browse around here." Barnes and Noble smells good. Tons of great books. So I go in there and I see Dune on the shelf. I'm like, "Oh, maybe I'll read it before I watch it." And I was not disappointed. It was a great book. Excellent. Wish I was reading it over for the first time. So Dune is a science fiction novel. It's basically about a desert planet and this war for this drug on the planet known as spice. Is very important to I believe traveling in the galaxy and space. It's important. And so there's a war not a war, there's control over the planet for this drug spice. So that's kind of what it's about. Again, I love the book. If I had to give it a rating, 10 out of 10, it kept me edge of seat and wanting to read it even when I wasn't, at home or something. I'd think about the book. So it was great. And then the movie was also great. It just, the movie was excellent, right? The book is always going to be better. But the book was the movie ended shorter than the book did. So hopefully there's more movie coming out. So I'm also going to update you on my ulcerative colitis journey, right? I want to be very transparent. And I had already said that I was diagnosed in 2017. It was really tough to figure everything out, getting used to it. So since 2017, I've been on this medicine called mesalamine, which is an anti-inflammatory specific for your colon. And the next form of treatment is what's considered biologics, which is it blocks receptors on your cells. So basically your cells don't attack themselves. Basically what's happening is that in ulcerative colitis, your cells attack themselves in your gut as though they're foreign, even though they're not. And so the basic standard treatment is mesalamine, or I think ASA is called, I don't know. But it's anti-inflammatory specific for your gut. And then if that doesn't work, you advance into what's considered biologics, which is an inhibitor for cells to eat themselves. So it prevents them from eating themselves. And right, so that's the next form of treatment. And so we've just been trying to stay on the gut mesalamine, just the anti-inflammatory. And the reason being is that biologics, they're fairly safe. They have a good safety profile, but it's a lifelong medicine. It's one that if you stop taking, bad things happen. And so they're not sure how to, or if they can wean you off of it at this point. And so I just wanted to do it the most basic way first and see how it went, so that maybe in the future, I don't have to take anything for my ulcerative colitis. And so my experience since 2017 is that I experience a flare maybe twice a year. And the way that I treat that once I'm in the flare is with prednisone, which is like a steroid that calms your nervous system down. So it's similar, right? Not similar. It makes it so that your cells don't attack yourself, autoimmune disease. And so what would happen is that I'd be fine for 6 months. I'd go into a flare. I'd take this prednisone for a month and a half. I'd get off of it. I'd be fine. So now I'm just with the mesalamine, the anti-inflammatory. And then inevitably, like 6 months later, I'd go into another flare. And I'd attribute it to, previously I attributed it to getting too comfortable with my regimen and routine, and that leading to like maybe having a little bit too much of bad stuff, right? I think the goal with ulcerative colitis and gut health problems is to have more good bacteria than bad bacteria. That's how you get into like bad situations, is you let your bad bacteria take control. So my whole goal is always have more good bacteria. But when you get comfortable, you're doing really well for 3 months now, 4 months now, and it's Thanksgiving. And so you go in on food and like, you come out of Christmas time and you don't feel so good. You've been partying from Thanksgiving to Christmas to New Year. And now you're like, oh shit, I don't feel well. And now it's too late. And so I say all that to say, like, I attributed the flares to just, getting too comfortable and getting out of a healthy routine. And like I said, it's been like that since 2017, on and off, and really dealing with the flares. They have you out for, like I said, like a month and a half, which is like a big deal, like that's 3 months out of the year that you feel shitty. Not even feel shitty, you like literally are you like can't leave the house. So, after this most recent flare that I had, I just stopped to take time to be like, okay, part of it is like, being way too headstrong and just not wanting to accept what reality is telling me. And reality is telling me that I need to advance into biologics as much as I don't want to. And as much as I want to, right? I take such pride in being like, oh, like the gut health guy, like I have to be perfect in gut health or else who's going to want to listen to me? And I don't think that's the case. I don't believe that, but for whatever reason, I was telling myself that. And if I had a friend in my position, I wouldn't advise him to do what I was doing. And so I'm going to be my friend to myself. And I had a call with UCSF not too long ago, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. They've been trying to get me on it. And again, ignorantly or like whatever you want to say, I've been like, no, that's not it yet. We don't need to do that yet. And it's time. And so I had a good call with them. I'm going to wait for insurance to clear it, and then I'm going to go into UCSF and get my first biologic infusion. That's another thing with them. They have to be infusions. So IV, get a liquid drip every 8 weeks. So that's going to be like 6 times a year, which kind of is a lot. Like, that sucks. But you know what? There's things that suck way worse than that. And I'm not looking for like pity or sympathy or anything. Actually, when I was first diagnosed, I was like so anemic. I was just, things happen quickly. And I told you, like, I don't necessarily like to give up or give in. And so initially I was, when I didn't know what was happening yet, I was just ignoring a lot of very important signs. And so I ended up being very anemic and had to get iron infusions and, again, IV, go into the facility. And when I looked around me, there were people there receiving like real treatments for like cancers and stuff. And it was like, oh, what I'm dealing with is like way less important than what they're dealing with. And so it gives you strength. It's like, I can shut up and stop complaining and go do this 6 times a year, because I know that their regimen is like every other week, like all day. Sometimes they wear cold caps so they don't have to lose their hair. And like, there's just some, like, Yeah, I just stop complaining. So that's my journey. You know, I want to provide this information because if there's someone else in my position and maybe you're the 2017 me and you're not sure what's happening, like, let's figure it out together, because you don't have to go through what I went through because I went through it. And so you don't have to. And moving on, let's go over our next overrated, underrated. So I'm going to go with hella overrated is a 4 a.m. fitness grind. That's 7 days a week, 365. You're sweating, you're getting it in. And I say that it's hella overrated because I've been there. That's like everything that I do that I enjoy, I do it with that kind of passion. And, you know, I love it. Like, I love it. But having those days where you don't feel like you need to kill it in the workout, help you come back the next day like ready to kill the workout. And again, I've overtrained more times than I know. And I love people, you know, like Jocko Willink is awesome. Goggins is awesome. Kobe, right? You're trying to get that Kobe mentality. I don't know if anyone saw that Dream Team documentary or whatever it's called. Dope, right? You want to be one of the greatest, so you go hard. But like, you know, appreciating that day of when you head in the gym and you know you need to just take a break. So I'm gonna go with overrated for overtraining, which sounds obvious when I say it like that. And underrated, I'm gonna go with walking on the treadmill. So my homie was like, "Hey, bro, like I got this crazy workout from TikTok, honestly, and it's just literally walking on the treadmill at 3 to 4 speed at 10 to 15 incline." And so I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. It's whatever. Like, that seems fine. And I tried it and I loved it. Like, you're pouring sweat. You know, I go for like 2 to 3 miles, which is like 30 to 45 minutes, I guess. You're pouring sweat. It's difficult. You get that 120, 130 BPMs for 45 minutes, which is where I want to be because I like to stay in this HIIT range. And so I need that extra. I need a push to do any kind of endurance training, and this is perfect for me. And it's one of those workouts where you're like, I'm not going to quit because I'm just walking, even though like it's burning and like it feels good. You feel good after. That is one of the things actually too that I can do for 6 days out of the week and give it a rest on 7. So I know I had said overrated is going too hard, but yeah, here I am going hella hard. But so that's super underrated. I love that workout. So overrated, we're going with burnout, 4 a.m., 7 days a week in the gym, hitting it too hard. That's overrated. And underrated is going to be a nice walking treadmill workout, 10 to 15 incline, 3 to 4 speed, going for time, going for distance, whatever you like, but you'll feel it. My goal for this week and for the month is to avoid all processed sugar. So only natural sugar. And I'm going with just honey. And I'm working on this article about honey, and even doing that research, I'm going to go, you know, even less honey than I planned because it's so easy to be like, I'm not doing sugar, and then go eat a spoonful for 4, 3, 6 spoonfuls of honey and be like, well, that was cool. No, like, again, I'm working on some dope, on what I think is a cool article for honey and sugar. And it's just opening my eyes to like, oh, okay, you need to do even less sugar than you wanted to do. So that's my goal. And that includes food, that includes drinks. And I started yesterday. I wanted to actually get this out earlier, but I started yesterday. I'm going to go, I do have an exception for this month. It's my mom's birthday on the 12th. I will enjoy something with her. And it's Thanksgiving. I'm going in on Thanksgiving. But other than that, right? And you can say what you would like about me because I'm going to do 2 days of where I don't really care what I eat, but I like to live life. So there it is. And that's it. That is it. Dope. I hope you enjoyed this. That was cool, actually. Again, like I'm going to try to get guests, so that's not just me here babbling, but I had fun, actually. So that was a cool little babble. I got to update you guys on a lot of things. And hopefully, you know, I'm going to reiterate how thankful I am for my 338 subscribers on Whealthy Performance. Just given the poor quality of the channel, I'm going to be consistent and update that channel. I'm going to form a gut health channel for you, and this is going to become a regular show. It's learning how to streamline all of these things. I'm learning how to reduce friction as far as becoming a creator, which is cool. I'm having hella fun. So I hope you have fun. If you want to hear some things or are interested in something, go ahead and leave me a comment and like and subscribe. I appreciate you. As always, stay wealthy. Yay!
Stepped onto the grass, I'm on the winning green.
That was
Baby, get
dope,
along, we
man.
can get along.
And hella easy.
Welcome to the circle, it's the winning team.